right? Rather than kind of looking and seeing hazards and trees and sand traps and all sorts of stuff, all the stuff that could be out there, I would want you to just pick your line. I would want you to visualize the shot that you want to hit regardless of what's out there, right? So if you're hitting a pitching wedge, it's obviously an approach shot of some sort, right? I don't want you to see the pond to the left. I don't want you to see the sand trap long and to the right. I want you to see your line, and I want you to visualize that.
Not necessarily worry about how far it's going. Again, I want you to focus on visualization, right? Fall in love with the shot. Take your 2 practice swings, step in, and let the ball get in the way. Get left, and so now you're mad that the ball didn't go left, because now you tried to control that instead of releasing that control, right? So again, it's going to be really hard to see the result here or kind of see the process, but we'll talk about it afterwards to see how it's going. So visualize, right? Kind of as you're walking up, maybe take this space of this 5 yards to accept whatever's about to happen. Once you get here, 2 practice swings, thump, thump, and then just let the ball get in the way. On putts like this, one thing that with your pre-shot, post-shot, kind of tying in last lesson to this lesson, I want part of your pre-shot routine on a putt like this, when we're talking about the statistics of professional putter dropping down into the low teens make percentage from here, for an amateur putter, right, for an amateur golfer, somebody that's not playing every day like you and me, I almost want you to start accepting the 2 putts. Because instead of trying to make from here and forcing that ball to go in, going back to our conversation about pre-shot routines in our last lesson, you're setting up an expectation that most of the time is going to let you down. Right now that starts to get into our mind, and now our highs and lows are going like this because we want this putt to go in so bad. When you're setting up for this shot, I want part of your pre-shot routine on putts like this to be accepting the 2 putt. That's going to release a lot of that tension to make it, and you'll actually see a lot more putts go in. Make it a whole process. So I want you to go ahead and step back here. We'll move these balls. Step back, kind of see the putt. Okay. Very similar to what we talked about in our previous lesson, right? Fall in love with what you see. I think it just causes an overswing. Right. So a big part of today is going to be observing how far your 5 wants to go, right? Instead of you saying, my 5 has to be my 210 club. Maybe your 5 iron's your 190 club, right? Which is a 20-yard difference than what you want, but it is what it is, right? I mean, understanding that number instead of wanting a certain number that you might never get, you know, is going to be a big part of hitting that 5 with confidence and hitting it right. You're going to have your swing thoughts. I don't ever want to feel like I'm changing those swing thoughts in a major way. But ultimately, that trust factor does come down to that feel, getting out of here, right, and more into just what's going on in the swing. I want you to visualize, let's say, I think next week we're going to be on the back 9 over at the Desert Springs course. So I want you to visualize hole 10, okay? Par 4, 450 yards, so you can hit driver off the tee, okay? About 310 out, there's a pond left. So go ahead and try and visualize that as you're looking out. Obviously, we can take between the trees there as the fairway, right? So we got traps right. We got the pond all the way left. Anything left of the tree, if you hit a really good driver, we'll assume is in the water, right? So visualize, fall in love with the shot, really see that 10th fairway and where you want to put that shot. Fall in love with it, accept it. This time we'll talk about course management. Right? What do we do when we actually get out here? What's the safest way to play a hole? When's the time to go after a shot? When is the time to maybe lay back? And here we have the number 10 tee, right? This is what we worked on in the simulated hole. Right? So there's that water out there. There's the sand traps down the right-hand side. We played this whole play. It's always important to like what you're looking at. Right? I mean, that's a huge part of scoring, feeling comfortable on the golf course. Usually if you're playing a little bit of a cut, even with that water out there, I mean, the tees are set pretty far back today. Usually with a little bit of a cut, I'd want you to set up on the right-hand side of the tee box, because that's going to open up the left side of the course, right? We know we're not going to miss left, right? That's going to be the big-time miss if we go opposite of what we want. So if you set up on this side, it really opens up that shot. It puts you right at the water. That now you can bring it back into the center. compared to middle or setting up on that side, you're kind of closing
to
the
this
left
side. So, right, but mostly I just wanted to stop and kind of talk about you hitting the bad drive off the tee, right, that we didn't get on film, but now, and this is kind of the moment of truth, right, this is always the shot that is sometimes going to make or break your round. For a lot of golfers, they hit 2 bad shots in a row, and they might as well just drive back to the car and go home. You know, 2 bad shots in a row, their round is over for a lot of them. So I just want to take a second to talk about, or just remind you to check your mental state, right? Let that shot go. You accepted that bad shot as a possibility beforehand. Now we're really putting to the test whether or not you can apply the pre and the post shot routines to play it one shot at a time.
When you say,
Now I've got to put this approach shot really close or else, that's where I would say it's time to get back in the pre-shot routine and say, this is the only shot that matters right now, not the drive that I hit that wasn't good, not the second shot that I hit that wasn't good. This is the only shot that matters, right? And especially now, that hole's over. Right now we're here and we have a whole new chance for a score. But instead of thinking about, I want to par this hole, I want you to think about this drive. I want you to visualize and fall in love with this shot. Focus on the feel. You mentioned kind of on the past couple holes that your grip was not feeling right. I want you to get that out of your mind and just focus on the feel of those 2 practice swings. And if those swings feel good, let the ball get in the way.